All right, welcome back. We've got an NVIDIA earnings update. This week felt like the Super Bowl for the stock market. Everyone was awaiting NVIDIA's numbers. Everyone was placing earnings bets, options, trades, and they had their earnings on Wednesday. They had their conference call same day as well. And we're going to go over the numbers. We'll look at the chart and we'll look at some graphics to kind of break down the numbers, and I'll give you my thoughts and what I'm doing with NVIDIA towards the end. So, in a nutshell, it was another blowout quarter, and the market wasn't too pleased. The stock dropped 9% in after hours post earnings, and it recovered since then, and we're kind of just flat on the week. So, it's kind of funny because there was a lot of people speculating, are we going up 10%, down 10%? Because the past earnings have been huge gap ups. NVIDIA up 20%, 15%, which for the size of the company it is now is hundreds of billions of dollars to move the stock that much. So kind of funny that it ended up just kind of staying right where it was, not doing a whole lot. But definitely some volatility and a lot of anticipation. So let's get into the numbers here. The revenue jumped 15% quarter over quarter. So NVIDIA is now bringing in $30 billion a quarter, which is unbelievable. It wasn't that long ago, and you'll see here that NVIDIA was only bringing in around $6 billion a quarter, and now they're up to $30 billion. And this past quarter was a 1.3 beat to the upside, so they beat expectations. And the big driver is data center. That is 83% of their business. So data centers up again 20% quarter over quarter. So the last 3 months they just continue to grow and grow and grow. And you can see here the other parts of their business grew just slightly. Gaming, automotive, OEM, things like that. The gross margin is 75%, which was down slightly quarter over quarter, but it was in line with their guidance. Their operating margin 62%, a little bit better than guidance, and their earnings per share was really good as well. Cash flow here, operating cash flow almost 15 billion with a 50% margin. Free cash flow, which is unbelievable, of 13.5 billion at a 45% margin. Just outstanding. And their balance sheet, incredible. 35 billion in cash, 9 billion in debt. So really nice shape there. And as far as their guidance, they guided revenue to grow 8% quarter over quarter, so 32.5 billion for next quarter. That's a little bit higher than what the market was expecting. I assume the market sold the stock off after earnings because the growth quarter over quarter is declining. So it's no longer 30%, 50%, 100%. We're down to 8%, but it's still $2.5 billion growth in 3 months. Pretty just still outstanding. So let's look at some graphics here. And again, this is the one that just gets me every time, because it wasn't that long ago NVIDIA was just making incremental gains over here, and just boom, skyrocket this last year and a half. So again, just kudos to them, just unbelievable growth. And again, you see here, it's the data center. This is the AI story in play here. So when you're going to ChatGPT, these companies need higher computing power in their data centers to run those large language models, to run all those algorithms, and that's all done in their servers, in their data centers. So just huge buildings filled with NVIDIA chips, and these companies are not slowing down. As I've mentioned in multiple of my other videos, we are pretty much through earnings season here. There's still going to be a handful of companies that don't matter reporting their earnings, but all the big tech companies, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Google, they're all saying, yeah, we're spending a lot and we're not going to stop spending. We're going to keep building out our data centers. We're going to keep spending on AI chips. We want to be the leader in this area. We want to just make sure we overbuild. We don't want to be the company that's stuck in the mud and doesn't have enough compute to compete with their peers. So it's an arms race who can build the biggest, baddest data centers and who can build the best product for customers to use. So no sign of slowing down. In fact, accelerating, which is why you see this growth here in NVIDIA. So when we look at the Q2 income statement, again, data center, $26 billion this past quarter. Gaming, a sliver. Automotive, a sliver. I don't know what professional visualization is. I don't know if that's like the headsets or what that is, but it's all data center. It's just unbelievable. But again, 30 billion in revenue, 22.5 billion in profit for a total net profit of 16.5 billion. Just incredible. The margin on this business is just incredible. Because again, they don't manufacture the chips. They design the chips and then they say, hey, Taiwan Semi, build our chips. So they don't have to have the factories and the raw inputs to build the chips. They just design them and they charge a fat upsell to their customer and they outsource the manufacturing. So very high margin business, and obviously their chips are in high demand, so they have pricing power. They can say, hey, we're raising the price of these chips because if you don't want them, Microsoft wants them and they'll pay a premium. So Meta, if you want these chips, you got to pay a little extra. So they have an incredible pricing power at this moment, and the revenue shows it. So again, another great quarter, just a phenomenal. This is one of the best income statement graphics that you can see out there. Just unbelievable. And again here, just another breakdown. It's all data center, and it's mainly the compute chips. The networking chips is still a small piece, but those two go together in the data center, and then everything else is just little change on top of the on top of it here. So what to make of all of this? Again, data center is the big driver. Computing and networking up hundreds of percent over the year. Let's see here. Operating margin was slightly down on their guide for full year of 2025, but it's not anything to really shake you out here. Management did announce another $50 billion stock buyback program, so they have just so much cash, they're going to keep buying back their stock, because what's the point of just having all this cash on their balance sheet? They want to do something with it. We'll see what other products they release down the road. They are working on a few other products that we'll talk about in a moment. But as far as the earnings call, nothing too, in my opinion, nothing too crazy to talk about here. They do have their Blackwell product that's coming. Their current product is the Grace Hopper, and there was some speculation at how long will this product be delayed, the Blackwell product. So it's delayed by just 1 quarter, so that's not a big deal. But it will be coming, and it sounds like there is a lot of going to be a lot of innovation in this product, and there's going to be a lot of demand for it as well. So some key quotes from the earnings call. Just really not a whole lot here. They just, we're hearing all the same thing. AI is transformative. It's coming. Everybody wants their hands on it. So right now we're just building out the infrastructure for it. But it does sound like you've got the big dogs, those big companies I mentioned, they're building it out, but also you have a lot of startup companies. Then you're going to have all these other consumer internet, software program platforms, enterprise and government. Everyone is going to take all their data that they've spent the last 15 years putting onto the cloud. They're going to take it and then they're going to use these AI LLMs and AI tools to organize their data and allow their employees to utilize that data in a much more efficient way than we have all these files. Let's dig through there and let's find what we need out of it or use it. They're going to have the computers do all of that. I mean, if you just take a huge book and paste it into ChatGPT and say, write me a book report, there you go. So you're able to take a large amount of data, compress it, and have the computer filter out the most important things and give that to the user, and then they can take that and do what they need to do with it. So if you're a government, if you're, software, think about, Microsoft Word, all those platforms should get a huge upgrade with AI. So we know the AI story. We haven't seen it in full force yet. It keeps being promised and promised and promised. We see little glimpses here and there, but just like we've seen with ChatGPT came out of nowhere, there's going to be more of these products now that everybody is working on it. And now, more importantly, everybody has the tools. They have the compute power to do what they need to do, to create new things. So we're still at the very early innings of this, and just keep your eyes and ears out there. So there's really not a whole lot to talk about, but it's just the controversy with NVIDIA is it too late to buy? Now, we did go over in a recent video some of the 13F filings from some of the big hedge funds, and there has been a lot less buying when it comes to NVIDIA and a lot more trimming. So NVIDIA has made an incredible move over the last few years. Let's pull up the chart. And you're seeing people take chips off the table, be less aggressive when it comes to buying, which is no surprise because look at this chart. It's just up, up, and away. So people are less enticed to buy it here at a $3 trillion valuation versus when it was under $1 trillion, right? So it's just on an unbelievable move. So people want the gains to digest, and there is also a fear of the competitors, right? So it's not the cheapest stock out there, but we just looked at the fundamentals. The proof is in the pudding. I will pay up for a company that is performing like this. So when you look at its valuation, its forward price to earnings is 41, Apple is 34, Microsoft is 31. Those are three great companies, but no one's growing anywhere near NVIDIA. The question is, how much longer can they continue this growth? That's the big question. That's the question the market has, and that's what NVIDIA has to continue to prove quarter over quarter. And that we'll just have to wait and see. Is AI as big as it says? Are we as they say it's going to be? Are these companies going to overbuild and have to pause? You hear people compare NVIDIA to Cisco and all this other stuff from the dot-com bubble, but this is obviously not a bubble stock. Look at the fundamentals of the business. We just went over it. They're phenomenal. Now the question is, will the growth slow and decelerate? We'll have to wait and see. We know that semiconductors are a cyclical business, so it will go through its normal cycle. The question is, are we still at the beginning stage? Are we near the end? How long until we trough out and then begin the next upcycle? We won't know. I'll tell you in 10 years. But for right now, the story looks great. The guidance is great. They just guided for higher revenue. So we're not at the top yet, is what it seems like. But the growth could be slowing, but they're still growing. So valuation is the question here. How long can it sustain this valuation? And you see the big boys not buying as aggressive right now. So that is up to you. What I'm personally doing with this stock, I have no position in the stock. I want to own the stock, but I want to own it at the right price. Because again, it's risky to just close your eyes and buy it near all-time highs, because we are not too far from the all-time highs here. All-time high is 140. We are currently at 120. So going into earnings, I knew they were going to have a good quarter. I didn't know what the guidance was going to be, but I've been selling aggressively the 110 cash secured put and the 115 cash secured put. So I had a few puts that expired today worthless, so that was great. I got to keep all the premium. I don't have any shares. I have one more at the 115 strike, and then I have a bunch here at the 110. To me, 110 is the number I'm happy to buy. 110 and below. If we go to 90, that's fine. I'll be there buying. If we go to 50, that's fine. I'll be there buying. Now, why did we go to 50? I'll have to see what that is. But regardless, I like the company. I like the valuation under 110. That's the price I feel comfortable buying the stock at. I don't hate buying it at 115, but I'm going to be patient. I have no problem waiting and waiting and waiting. I've watched this stock go up 1,000%. So why would I FOMO in now? So I have no problem being patient, selling puts on this stock and getting paid to buy at the price that I want to buy at. If not, I keep the premium. So it's been a very lucrative endeavor here for NVIDIA. I've sold probably 20 puts in this whole summer, and I haven't been assigned at all because it keeps moving up. But you know what? I keep having returns like this, 40% profit. I've got about 4 of these left across my other accounts that are up 40% currently. I will probably close these out next week if we can keep if we get over 50% on the profit. So that's been helping me build my cash position and just being patient and waiting here. There's no need to rush to buy this stock now. But earnings were good. I don't know how the market's going to react these next few months. We'll wait and see if we get some softness in the market, which September and October are seasonally softer months. August, as I mentioned in previous videos, 100% green going into an election cycle. It looks shaky at the beginning of the month, but we did end up closing green. And I will talk more about that in our weekly stock market update that should be coming out today. But as far as NVIDIA, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this with somebody, because this is definitely a generational company that a lot of people don't know about, but they will know about it within the next 5-10 years. And their products are going to be in a lot of things that we use on a day-to-day basis. So again, if you like this video, hit the like button. That's all I got for you guys. Have a great weekend, and peace out.